So what's your initial reaction to the news last night that the company did not use Azulux?
I think it was of shock. We had been putting a lot of evidence across through the back doors, so the Scottish Government hopefully get a realistic view on the challenges faced for landowners and also even for public health. That we feel hasn't came across because the Scottish Government has released a lot of information on their website today, which has just came out the woodwork today, which should have been released a long time ago as far as we're concerned. And if you go by what's in the literature that they've had to see, they've had a lot of misinformation, so that information we've given them has not gone through.
The timing of the decision is kind of last minute. You guys have got to get going for the next few weeks if it was going to happen.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to how the government's handled the whole process and when they've told you what?
Yeah, well, as I said, there could have been a lot of questions answered, and they said there's a lot of misinformation. In the report that's been put out, the ECP, the Expert Committee on Pesticides, have said X, Y and Z. A lot of issues have been challenged already with CRD, the Chemicals Regulations Director. That's been challenged and they've accepted that, but this information has went into the ECU report anyway, so the government has had false information. Financially, it's a burden as well for us, not just for us, but obviously for our customers, but we've £25,000 as a company we've lost because we've had our crews waiting, now we've had to cancel them. So that's just one concern, but we've also got all our clients to think about who are in agri-environment schemes, and the Scottish Government have released a statement to say they'll be flexible with them. There's no flexibility because there's no other way to control that bracken. That's why aerial bracken has been used, and that's why Nature Scot has actually wanted Azulux to continue being used as Forestry Scot has, but the Scottish Government hasn't made their opinions known in all the reports they've put out.
So what's going to happen with bracken control this year? Is the season over? Is it going to go rampant?
Yeah, so for Scotland, I dare say that will be the case. In a Freedom of Information request that was put in, Nature Scot had stated their concern if Azulux wasn't approved, farmers might take ways to control bracken into their own hands, which means they may end up using things like glyphosate in areas they shouldn't for controlling bracken. And we know what glyphosate does, and when used in the right places, it's an excellent chemical to use, but for controlling bracken in very sensitive areas, because let's face it, Nature Scot has given a lot of agri-environment schemes for bracken control out, so these areas are sensitive areas, so they're just, it's a ticking time bomb now.
So what's next for Agri-Air and companies that use that chemical and need it for their work?
So we're going to have to sit back over the next few days, look at what the Scottish Government and all other agencies have put out there, come back with a response, and see if the Scottish Government will have the appetite to listen, or whether they have just got the view they like how they have up till now, where they just do not want to listen, which is my fear is that will be the case.
Perfect. There we go.